probably man that's got the same move with every club. I'm the only golfer with the feeling of greatness. I'm the only golfer living that's got the master move and the feeling of greatness.
Hey, it's Todd. Welcome to the Feeling of Greatness podcast. Happy to be here with some ideas today. I want to discuss a couple of things that have been on my mind about the process of coaching and my experience as a coach when I work directly with you guys out there who are aspiring to play better golf. But there's more, to me, there's a lot more to it than just the aspiration to play better golf, because I know I've been through this and I see a lot of different levels of golfers who come through. I am hired to coach high level. I'm hired to coach, pretty much beginners. And it's interesting because there's no differentiation really to me, but there's some very interesting, let's call it, maybe it's perspective, maybe you can call it attitude, maybe you can call it the mental side of it. And I'll give you a quick example. I two high level players that I coach. One, obviously Roberto Lebrija, who, he's at a different level, but he's going to really be at a different level as he progresses. And then I have the younger guy I teach, very good player, who is developed into a good player, who continues to develop. And it's, it's always a learning process. You just keep getting better and better and better. It's just process. But the mental state, the mental attitude of the two are very different. And maybe as a coach, I don't know how, maybe this is my weakness as a coach is, I can't make people want to get better. I can't shake you out of bed every morning and say, today we're going to do this to get better. It comes kind of from the inside. But I'll tell you the two differences here, and maybe you can kind of relate to the two differences in the ability to handle and process difficulties and change. And this is probably what the conversation today is going to be on, is making changes. How do you handle the frustration? How do you handle dealing with frustration? And it comes down to how you use what's between your ears. So Roberto, one time I had a difficult change I was making with him, and I knew it was going to be somewhat disruptive to his ability to get a result right away. But I knew long term it was the right thing to do. As a coach, I have to do what's right. I have to make things long term. I can't just sit there and go, here's a quick fix, because I know it'll break down at some point. So I tell Roberto, I said, listen, I'm going to make this change, and it's going to be difficult. And he turned to me and he said, you know who you're talking to, right? And I'm like, got it. And what he meant by that was, look, nothing's too difficult for me. He goes, I'll figure it out. Right? That's Roberto's frame of reference. That's the way he deals with it. If it's hard, I got it. I can handle it. Give it to me. I want to get better. And you can see as a coach, it gives me freedom, because it lets me go after it. Hey, we got to do this. We got to get this done. We have to make this change. It's going to be complicated, but I don't even go there anymore. I just go, Roberto, we got to do this. This is what we got to do. And he works through it. Now let's contrast that with my younger guy, who you make a change, and why did that ball do that? What's going on? Why is it now I can't seem to, and you get all this like resistance. And then you work through it, and it's by the end of the 2 hours, you're exhausted, because you're trying to get him to stick with it. You're trying to reassure him that you're doing what's right. And as a coach, you just get exhausted. It's an exhausting process, because it's not that the change is, you get tired of emotionally supporting it, I guess is what I'm saying. You just get this overwhelming, like, oh my God, if when I walk away from here, he's not going to continue to do this because it's hard and he's not getting the results he wants. And you get this kind of, I call it resistance factor. And the question I have for you watching this podcast is, do you think Mo ever struggled? I mean, do you think Mo went through, and I know for a fact he did. I mean, I researched it. I looked into it. I talked to numerous, dozens of his friends that knew him as he was developing as a player. Heck yeah, he struggled, and we all struggle because it's a developmental process. So the question has to be, what is your mental state when you run into those issues? What is your mental state when you run into frustration? And I'll give you just an idea. You can maybe carry this forward with you. What if you could let the frustration become a fuel, a catalyst to improvement? Because what the difference between Roberto and my other player that I mentioned is Roberto looks at it as, man, if I get this right, I'm better. My other player looked at it, oh, it's affecting me right now in this moment, and I'm not getting what I want right now. And that's where you have to, this is where I think me as a coach, and not me as a coach, my friend Rick Carlisle as a coach, all my coaching friends that are my mentors out there, we all deal with this with our aspiring athletes, because I walk into the room and say, we got to accomplish this. We got to get this done. And if their first thing is, man, I don't want to work that hard, or I don't know if I want to go through this process, or boy, how long is it going to take to get this? And is it going to affect me? And yeah. It's just like, okay, you just handcuffed the coach. You just basically tied the coach's hands and said, I'm only willing to do so much to get better. And look, you better tell a coach up front. And I've had students say, hey, I'm not willing to do that. I'm like, fair enough. I mean, look, I'm okay with that. Just be upfront about it. But don't come to me and say, hey, Todd, I really want to get better. I really want to do this. I want to transform my game. I want to play golf like I've never played before. I want to really get this. And then say, but I'm only willing to go so far. I'm only not willing to do that. Right. And so, so the question is, are you handcuffing your coach? Are you handcuffing somebody in your life? Are you setting up a parameter of success? Like I'm only willing to practice once a week. I'm not willing to practice at all. Or I'm not willing to buy new clubs because I can't. It's just, and not that, these are all things we run into here at Graves Golf. If I want to make you better and I want to really transform you, I need to get you to send videos to the coaches. We need interaction. We need a relationship. We need to really dig into cause and effect, what's causing certain things. Watch the webinars that I do. Just watch them, right? Just watch them and pay attention to the questions that get asked. Every single one of those questions can be solved if you're willing to engage with our coaches and send videos in and interact. And I remember I was working with Grant Cardone's team. I don't know if you know Grant Cardone with 10X. And I've been working with Grant's team for a couple of years now, but prior to me really being invested with their team and not knowing them that well, when I was first kind of engaging with them, Grant says, he goes, look, the closer you get to me, and he didn't mean by me, the closer you get to my company, the more you engage us, the more we can help, right? If you're just sitting here going, hey, I'll just come to one seminar and I should have it. It's hard to, there's a lot to that. So I have the same request of my students is like, build a relationship with my company, build a relationship with us, engage us, work with our coaches. There's a lot to this. And if the more you do that, the more fun you'll have, the more we'll be able to help. We can't help if you're not engaging us. The more freedom we have as coaches to say, hey, we're not handcuffed anymore, right? I'm not handcuffed by you setting these parameters. Like I'm only willing to do so much. Here's if I had to make a list of like the 5 most common questions I get asked, and this is whether it's I get an email or somebody calls me on the phone. It's, what is there a coach in my area so I can work with a coach? Is there a coach in my area? And I'm like, okay, I can't have coaches everywhere in the world, right? It's just, from a business perspective, it's just not possible. Plus, if I did have coaches everywhere, I would not say, I don't know if I can give the quality of coaching that we do here with our relatively small team. But I always ask them, what is the difference between a coach being there with you for an hour or you engaging my team here and letting us coach you remotely for a month or 2 months or 3 months or a year, you'll get so much more out of our engagement over the next 3 months of coaching. And here's why. Because there is a element of you taking responsibility. If I gave you a coaching task via email or via video or via video lesson or via Zoom lesson, I'm going to come back and hold you accountable to what we just discussed. And you've got to go do it yourself. Yes, I'm not there with you, or my coach is not there with you. But then you come back and you have had a totally different learning experience than if I just gave you a couple things to do when you're in front of me and then I left. And so then you forget about it and you're like, okay, I need another lesson 2 months later or 2 weeks later. And you got to understand that it's your investment in and how you approach this and how you want to go about this. I have seen transformations happen with our virtual coaching, with Single Point 30, with our coaching online, with our level 3, level 4. I have seen dramatic, amazing things. And it's that's why I love what I do. That's why I love this business, because if you're in Australia, if you're in the UK, if you live in San Francisco, I can coach you, right? We can coach you. And that's what we do. That's what we've built. We built our expertise around that. But you've got to be willing to take a video of your swing. You got to be willing to engage us. You got to be willing to take that little extra effort. And if you're saying right now, well, it's just so hard to take a video of your swing, that phone you're holding right in your hand right now does it, right? You don't need a camera anymore. You got a phone. It's just so simple to do anymore. That's why this whole online coaching thing is really going to be what transforms the way we are able to help you. Plus, we do live shows all the time. I engage my Single Point 30 group every single month, 4 times, sometimes 8 times a month, depending on how much time I have. I do Zoom sessions with you. You ask Q&A. And we engage. It's about how deep down the rabbit hole are you willing to go to engage us so we can get enough of a relationship with you to really help you. And that's what it comes down to. And look, I get it. There's a 20% rule, and it's just you run into this, and you got to tell me where you fall, and you can do a kind of a self-assessment on this. Are you one of the 10 to 20% of people that will actually do it? Because 80% won't, and it's just the numbers game we play here at Graves Golf, and it's probably with every single business. Is that 20% of people will go far enough down the rabbit hole to get the most out of our company's help. And that's who we can help the most, because you're engaging us to that level. So it comes down, it reminds me of when it was kind of like my final days with Mo. It was the last time I played golf with him and spent time with him. And we were having a conversation in between. I played 9 holes. We were having a conversation. And Mo says to me, I said, Mo, why me? I asked him, I said, why me? Why did we have this relationship? Why did we become friends? Why did you mentor me? Why did that all occur? And Mo said to me, because you wanted it. And that was Mo saying to me, look, you were invested. I could tell you were invested. And he knew I was invested because he couldn't shake me, right? I mean, I was around a lot, and I would ask him questions, and I would hit balls, and I would take him to play golf, and we would, anytime I could, I was invested. And that's not something you can hide. I can see it the minute I meet somebody, and the questions they ask, the engagement, they're looking, you can tell when people are invested. And so I think there's just so much gravity around that. If you want to get better, and you really want to get better, and you want it, you got to get off of the fence. And here's the thing. I had a guy the other day ask me, he said, Todd, what should I do? What's the order? How should I structure this? And look, I love strategy. I think strategy is important. I mean, being smart about how you approach it. But on the other side of it is do everything. Schools, Single Point 30, get your club set up for you correctly. Work on your short game. Come to a short game school. Work on taking it to the course. Study a video. Practice those things. Videotape your swing. So these are things, these are all things, these are tools, and these are ways of improving. And you're always going to keep getting better, and you'll get something out of everything. To sit there and say, well, I just need to go to one golf school and then that'll be it. I think you're limiting yourself because I know it for a fact that there is a lot in a golf school. We cover the 7 principles of golf. We cover every single principle of your game. So we're touching on every element of the game to help you get better. And we're doing it in whether it's a 3-day school or a 5-day school. Well, that's 3 to 5 days out of your life. That's not enough. That's the start of it. That's the beginning of the process. And then you're going to go practice those things. Then you're going to have to reinvest in that again. So to me, it's this whole conversation is who's out there raising their hand saying, man, I want this enough and let's go, let's do this. And that's really where I like to spend my time, because whether it's Roberto or my other guy that I teach or the many students that I teach, I love commitment. Because if you're committed, and coaches love commitment. When a player goes all in, when an athlete goes all in, I go all in. When an athlete goes halfway in, it's very hard for a coach to go all in because he's got athletes over there that are going all in. I want to spend my time with the all in, right? Who's all in? I'm sitting here right now at the Graves Golf Performance Center. We just moved into our new office buildings. The team's excited. We're excited. The facility's exciting. I'm basically this afternoon, I have meetings. We're going to be laying out some new opportunities here to come in and train at Graves Golf. We're going to lay out stay and play programs where you can come here for 2 days and train. We have our golf school schedule coming out for this fall and next spring. We have bio schools coming up mid-September. This is going to be the campus and headquarters for you to invest and get better. And you're going to come here at Edmond, Oklahoma, and you're going to have an amazing experience here. And I'm going to create that for you. And that's what I want for you. And so when you're all in, you're ready to go, Graves Golf Performance Center is here for you. And I'm ready, and my team is ready to tackle all the things that you want to do and get better. And that's what we're invested in here. And we're going to invest in you. So that's my message for today. It's a simple one. It's maybe you taking some inventory of where you're at. I don't care if you're 80 years old, 85 years old, 50 years old. Take an inventory of like, man, is it time for me to really dig in? Is it time for me to invest in myself? Because it is an investment in yourself. And you will get more rewards from that investment in yourself to going all in than you will saying, I'm going to give it a shot. I'll give it a try. I might do that. I want you to take inventory of that, is go all in. And I'll tell you, just as a quick personal story, it would be easy for me. It would have been easy for me 3 years ago not to buy a golf course and not to buy this real estate and not to do this. It would have been easy, right? It's easy to not do things. It's like, don't want to take that on, too much. It's a big investment. It's a big life commitment, but I did it. And is there days that I hit my head against the desk and go, why did I do this? Absolutely. I have those frustrating days just like you have frustrating days too. But at the end of the day, if this is transforming people and this is helping people and people are enjoying their lives and playing great golf and having fun and they have a great experience here and we're creating a great environment for that, this is all worth it for me. So that's why I did this. I did it to have a place to bring you in here to help you when you go all in. And that's what I created here. And so that's what we're going to continue to evolve this. You guys are going to love it here when you come visit us. It's going to be a great experience for you. You're going to transform your game. You're going to take it to new levels. You're going to work with our coaches. It's all going to be right here. So this is an invitation to all of you to come see us at Graves Golf Performance Center. You can always email me at toddg@gravesgolf.com if you want to know more about it. The programs, we'll be putting together lots of programs for you here. It's right in the middle of the United States. We're right here in Oklahoma. So it's just pop into the Midwest, and Oklahoma is a great place and you'll love it here. And you come spend 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, come to a school, come see us 5 times a year. This is where we want you to come to spend time with us. So as we get into the football season and you guys want to sit around and watch football, because I know I'm going to definitely watch football starting tomorrow night and then all through Saturday, I'm still not going to let up on my training and my golf. I'm going to actually probably train more in September and October than I normally do, because I do have some time to do that on the weekends. Because when I'm watching football, I can be working on my grip. I can be working on my address position. I can be, there's a lot of things I can do that can make me better that I have trained myself to do, that you learn in like my programs like Single Point 30. So I'm giving you my email address. It's toddg@gravesgolf.com. I want to hear from you. I want to hear the good. I want to hear the bad. I want to hear the testimonials. I want to hear if you have something you need. You have my email address now, and I expect to get some emails from anybody listening to this, because I like the feedback from you. I like to hear what I can do for you to help more. And as a coach, I need to get that feedback from you, because I want to continue to evolve Graves Golf into the greatest golf teaching company that's ever existed. So I will sign off with that. You guys go work on your swings. And a final note here, Single Point 30 for September starts Monday. You got to be registered by Monday. Hop in there. If you've already been in there before, you get discounts for that. Again, you can email if you need to, but you'll definitely, it's gravesgolf.com/enroll to hop in the program. That's my program every month that I coach specifically. So you'll see me in there every single month. gravesgolf.com/enroll. I'll see you inside Single Point 30. Thanks for joining me.